again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages. You're now tuned into the Investor Show with your gracious host, the Prince of Investing, Prince Dykes, coming to you guys and girls live all the way from the beautiful city and state of Denver, Colorado. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button. And as always, I definitely know you guys don't have a lot of time, so we're going to jump straight into it. I kind of messed up my intro there a little bit, but we're going to go straight through it. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon. Hit that like, comment, and share button. Through it. But we got our very special guest in the studio, Jay Salters, the CEO of ActNow Education. ActNow Education, he's going to tell you about himself a little bit, but he's actually active duty United States Navy, I think with 21, 22 years. All the way from the ranks from the bottom of enlisted E1. Now he just got selected for lieutenant commander, but he's done a great job of creating probably, I say, one of the most influential people that I know in the military that's connected military and corporations. So without further ado, I don't want to talk you guys and girls to death. Mr. Jay Salters, how you doing today, sir?
All right, sir. It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you. Thank you for that introduction.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, because I know I kind of skipped over some things there, but I wanted to get you, tell people about who is Jay Salters.
Yeah, so I'm originally from New York, joined and selected the Navy, right? Went through boot camp, and I was in my former life, I was a CTR, so cryptologic technician collection. The R stands for collection for those civilians that don't know. Don't worry about it. It's a whole thing. And then I kind of just went up the ranks, made chief petty officer, and then putting my anchors in for picking up for commission. And then after that, now I'm here, 21 years. I enjoy what I do. I'm currently stationed in Chantilly, Virginia, and yeah, I enjoy what I do, enjoy supporting the military community.
Okay. Now, one of the things I want to talk about, ActNow Education.
Yes.
Now, some of the great things that you're doing, like I want to say I discovered you, knowing you pretty much, I didn't even realize this the other day, you've been knowing my whole entire career.
Yes.
For 20 plus years or whatever, right?
Yes.
And it's like when I see him, I'm like, okay, his face looks familiar. We both put on a little weight, but but his face looked familiar. But I didn't become very familiar with what you. You know what? I know it's the same person. You almost like switched to a whole other person with what you had become. You probably could say the same thing about me.
Yeah.
Me as a storekeeper on a submarine.
Yeah.
To what I become. But the thing that you done is you gained so much influence with the military and corporate America that is crazy. Yeah. And I watched your story about how much drive you had coming out of Manhattan, joining the military as an E1. Most people would have been happy just to be in the military. Most people would have been happy just to make first class and retire. Some would have been happy at chief. Some people would have been happy just with a commission. And not only you did all that, you also started your own nonprofit and your own business and gained massive influence and connected people, connecting dots all across the country. Like we was talking offline. You done messed around and got me a check. I didn't even ask for it. I didn't even know it was possible. Right?
Yeah.
So ActNow Education, 17,000 followers on LinkedIn?
Yeah, so we have, on my account, it's about 17,000, but on the ActNow Education site, I think it's about 23,000. But we have close to 70,000 members within our community. And what we focus on is upskill, reskill resources. So essentially all free resources that's out there. There's over 40,000 different resources for the military community. And those can be, life-changing, impactful opportunities that sometimes service members just don't know. A lot of times we hear things about word of mouth, and so we try to be at the forefront of being able to share those resources. Everyone on the team that I have is really passionate about being a part of the community and helping the community and growing the community and being able to provide that value with no expectations, right? The only thing we expect is if we give you something or, you take advantage of an opportunity or certification, you do us right, earn that cert, and, continue to push your career and be driven in that way. But I think it just all fell to me like, and this is how I kind of know this was just a route that was meant for me is when your passion finds you. Because originally when I started doing all this, it was just really just sharing the information, right? Mm-hmm. It was a PowerPoint slide, not a good one at that. I didn't have any, I had a whole bunch of words on the slides and just trying to talk to people about opportunities. and went from like winning the Spirit of Bob Hope Award for being able to provide resources for people, helping them get certified, helping them get their education or degrees knocked out in a timely manner. And then it started expanding where in 2021, people were like, hey, Jay, why don't you turn this into a nonprofit? And I was like, oh, that's work, you know?
Wow. Yeah, that is work.
Yeah.
You know? Now, some of these resources I know people gonna want to hear.
Oh,
you
yeah,
blew
we can
me
go
away
down
what
it,
we
yeah.
talked about before. So I don't know how long we tried in person and online to get this podcast done.
Yeah.
But you know, when I'm getting resistance, but that let me know I'm gonna break through. I'm gonna keep going until I get it
good.
right.
It's good. It's good when you get the resistance. Yeah.
It's good when you get
When
the
you get the
resistance.
pushback. Yeah.
That's how you know something's happening,
Yes.
right? Now, one of the things, the resources you taught me about was a free master's degree for veterans, military veterans, and spouses.
Yes.
Can you explain that?
Yeah. So a program that's out there, it's with the American College of Financial Services. I believe I said that right. But if you look it up, there's only one school. It's in Pennsylvania. And essentially, they have a scholarship program that supports the military community. And what they offer is a full ride master's in 2 different degree areas. So one focus is the financial services, and the other degree is focused in project management. And so if you're interested in knocking out a degree and, you know, you don't want to use your GI Bill, you don't want to use the TA, that's an opportunity to be able to do that. And so we partnered with them, I want to say about 2 years ago, to get 200 service members and military spouses through the program. And they graduate this year on St. Patty's Day. And so it's a blessing to be able to offer that. But that's the type of resources that we try to find out so that people can get that added value and then align that with a job opportunity. They also offer certifications as well. So if you're interested in any financial certifications, they will cover the cost. They have, I think, 8 or 9 different certifications on their website that the military community can apply for and get those for free as well.
Now, you just spoke about master's degrees, right?
Yeah.
How people can get free master's degree. Another resource you was telling me about is that veterans don't know about is going, the Hilton Honors Program where you could get free travel for veterans. Can you explain that?
Yeah. So another program is the Hilton's Honor Program, where if you are doing anything that has to do with job-related activities, it will give you 100,000 points. So you could be in Maryland trying to move to Texas and you got a job set up. They will help you essentially stay at one of the Hiltons in that area so you can go to your job interview and not have to worry about the cost of room and board. The only thing you have to worry about is how to get there and how to get back. But they'll cover that for military spouses, transition service members, and veterans.
Wow. How long that's been going on? Because I never heard about this.
Yeah, it's been going on for a while. The program, I think they're close to, don't quote me on this, it's about 30-some states or 40-some states. But even if your state is not included in that program, you could speak with the program coordinator. This is all through the NASWA program. So the NASWA program is the workforce development program aspect that kind of coordinates it with the Hilton. And then Lori Adams will help you get your points depending on what state it is, and then from there you can kind of utilize that. And we used it for when we did the military influencer conference last year. We had about 250 some people come out to learn about job opportunities and go through our job series, our cohort. And we had the Hilton. We used the Hilton's Honor Program to help cover that. We partnered with them to help that cover. We get that covered. So
got it.
Yeah.
Now, also, you're talking about your own program where you're giving out tailored suits to veterans to help them for their job. You got to go. So tell me about your program. How can people get these tailored suits? Because they're a little expensive, and
Yeah. I should have worn one today. I have one, but I wasn't wearing one today. But so we have a couple of different programs and resources that we offer as ActNow Education, and everything is focused on providing value and support to the military community. And we thought, what will be the best way, or at least our version of TAP, to kind of help the military community? And so we came up with a program called a 3-cert program. And I'll talk about another one called Cert to Success. But the 3-cert program is we offer 3 industry-level certifications, one in project management, the other one in Sec Plus, and the last one in Scrum Agile. And then with those 3 certifications, we offer you professional tailor-made business suit, tailor-made resume as well, We connect you with the Fortune 500 mentors so that you can connect with the industry of your choice so that you can learn from the folks. Because if you're trying to get from point A to point B, the easiest way to get there is by finding somebody that's already at point B that can give you the game.
Smart.
And then we also connect you with doing 3 mock interviews. And so your first interview is not your first interview, because whether you're a military spouse that hasn't been in the workforce for years, or you're a transition service member who's been in the military for either 20 years or more, or just, 4 years, you might have not interviewed in a while. And so you don't want that first, getting all the kinks out to be live action.
Mm-hmm.
So it's best to kind of use these programs to kind of help flush that out, get you to articulate your skill sets, the need, because the biggest thing about you going to work for an employer is it's not necessarily what's on your resume. It's really, how do you solve the problem that company is looking for? And they'll have a list of their jobs. So that's what you're answering for, right? How my skill sets match the role that you're trying to bring me on for, that solves a problem that you're looking for, and being able to articulate that. So we go through all that to provide you with some resources that really help you get through it. Because everyone know the TAP class, while it's a good starting point, it's not the end all be all. And that's a lot of stuff to cover within a week. And some people don't feel like they get the information, the guidance, or the resources that they need out of that. And so this is our own way of kind of like talking about that.
Now, here's another thing I want to talk to you about too. Why you say no military or veteran should ever pay for certifications? Why is that?
Because it's the sheer amount of resources out there, right? If you can understand that there are program addicts out there that are really geared towards supporting the military and helping you get the ability to leverage the skill sets that you have and translate that into an opportunity, there's organizations out there. Now I'm going to run through a few, and this is not going to be like all inclusive, but this is just to kind of give you an idea of what's out there. And so you have organizations like Onward to Opportunity, O2O. They have roughly about 42 different certifications that you can get, and each person can earn one certification, but you can get access to all the study material. Then you have programs like Vets in Tech, nonprofit, not the Vet in Tech, not to be confused with the the Vet Tech program, but the Vets in Tech, which they offer roughly about maybe 15 different certifications, anything from project management to the Sec Plus to if you're doing front end web development, full stack. So in Amazon, they offer AWS certifications as well. So they have a lot of different certifications that you can jump on, and you don't have to pay for any of those. Another resource that you can use is ServiceNow. ServiceNow has their program that they offer their certifications. And so these programs, and of course ours, we offer certifications as well, all free, no cost to you. And we all just want to be able to help the military community, but we just want to see you bring that sweat equity, right? And so
got to put something into it.
Yeah. So we're not asking you to tap your pockets, but we're asking you to put in the work so that you can make sure you get this through, and then find the opportunities that align. And so there are numerous programs out there that can support.
Now, you educated me on this, right? You came in, you said, Prince, me educated me on a couple things, but you told me, you said, hey, Prince, one thing you never talk about your process.
Yeah.
How did you create a book series? How did you create a foundation? How did you create a firm? And how'd you get on TV, the radio, connect with different people, do business deals? You never talked about the process. And I said, you know what? That's great, right? So someone who watching this, all the people, your followers that's listening to this, and the people who are being introduced to you from this broadcast, is while you're active duty in the military, commissioned officer in the military, how did you create this whole organization, right? Your nonprofit on ActNow, and your business consultant. How did you do that?
So I'm a firm believer in, like, when your destiny aligns with certain things. And so I did not, I could say, be honest, I didn't go out to seek, entrepreneurship. To be honest, I told my mentor a long time ago, like, I'll be happy working for a company, making money, going home, spending time with my family. But, life is very interesting. Things and opportunities that come your way. And I believe that when you're in your passion, it automatically connects you to what you're supposed to be doing. And I feel this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. For me, it was the fact that, coming up from where I come, and my story is out there, but coming up and growing up the way that I did, joining the military, I feel like, I was behind the power curve on a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I wasn't necessarily the smartest person in the room, but I was one of the hardest working people in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And as I started to, learn and interact with my peers and subordinates, I was like, I just got to do more work on me and what I know and expand my knowledge. And that translated from what I was doing to my job to what opportunities are out there, what resources out there. And then when I started diving into that, it was just like, oh, this program, this program, this program. These are great programs. I went from having, I think, no certification, no degree, just my security clearance, right, to knocking out close to 17 certifications in a year, knocking out my associate's degree, getting accepted to a prestigious bachelor's degree program, all within an amount of short time because I knew about the resources. And I was like, if I'm learning and knowing about this, who else is like missing this information? And so I made it, something of mine just to be like, hey, I don't only want to succeed. I get a lot of value out of being able to help and support others do the same. And quite frankly, anything that I've accomplished, all my accolades, I've always gotten more out of trying to help people achieve their own. And when they come back to say, hey, Jay, I got my bachelor's degree because of what you said, or I got my associate's degree because of what you said, or I knocked out this cert, I've gotten more. And so the military's taught me early on, I'm just in this for service, right? This is what I do. This is what my life is about. My life is all about serving others and being able to support others. And so that's how my I guess my nonprofit and then my business grew out of that as well, because it was an opportunity where someone was like, Jay, can you do these things? And I was like, yeah, I got, skill sets to be able to touch on that. And it just opened up the door. And I didn't tell myself no. You got doubt out there. You have things that kind of prevent you from achieving your goals, but we have this one life to live, and I don't want to leave anything on the table. And so I started doing that, and it started expanding. People started reaching out, touching base, and then it's grown to what it is now. And so I'm very thankful. But I couldn't say it was like, yeah, I knew what I was going to be doing and how I was going to get there. It's a journey within itself, and I've learned a lot, ups and downs. But I'm extremely grateful for what the military's taught me and how I've been able to articulate that. And I'm doing this while not having to worry about paycheck, right? So
yeah, exactly.
So I was like, it's the best time to kind of do that.
That's your secret sauce.
Yeah.
And I think that was my secret sauce too that people don't know.
Yeah.
People come to me and say, Prince, how you was able to take so many risks and you make it look so cool and you're so nonchalant? Because I'm not worried about my mortgage.
Yeah. No,
you know what I mean?
It's covered.
The mortgage is like, okay, that's covered.
Yeah.
I'm not worried, I'm not worried about having food and clothes, all those basic needs. So now this is just extra. It's like, hey, let me try this. And I think that gives you you can invest long term and you can build relationships. Whereas in some people, they're like, dude, I got a quarter
I need
to
make this happen.
I need to pay rent, food, mortgage, whatever they got going on, child support, whatever, that they can't take the long road.
Yeah.
And that's something that you've done masterfully. Now, I also want to talk about your military career.
Mm-hmm.
You went from E1 to getting all the way to lieutenant commander, right?
Yes.
And in the meanwhile, you went to chief. You just didn't go from, you went all the way, got your education,
Had
got
to
your
get
degree,
those anchors.
Got your anchors.
Yeah.
That's very respectful to get your anchors, then cross over to LDO, coming from Manhattan with not the most beautiful background.
Mm-hmm.
What, looking back on that 18, 19-year-old Jay, what would you tell him?
Oh man, he was hard headed.
He was.
I just always kind of envisioned in myself like, look, and this is kind of the reason why I left the city, because the opportunities and the things I was trying to do. I was trying to enroll in college, like mind you, my education, growing up in New York, I was never importance on education. Not to say my mom didn't try to like instill that on me. I just never understood it. It was just more so like, I'm going to school, get grades,
going through the motions.
Yeah, going through the motions, and then I'll choose a college or whatever. But if someone would have told me, sat me down, slowed me down, like, hey, what you do here has an effect that reverberates throughout your career, reverberates throughout your life, I probably would have took a different approach. But the thing that happened to me was, I completed high school barely, right? But I got through high school, and then I signed up for college, and I went to a community college in New York, and I enrolled. I went into the school, didn't know like paperwork and signing up and everything. Just went into the school by myself, enrolled, and I saw that bill. It was like $16,000 or something like that at the time, I remember, and I was just like, who's gonna pay that? Like I'm working 2 jobs, but I know I don't got that much to do.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, yeah, this is not an option for me, and I don't want to go into like debt right away. Like I'm just 18 now, and my mom, I didn't want to put that on my mom coming from a single parent household, and my sisters as well. So I was like, yeah, I gotta figure out what it is, and I was like, I got to be able to afford this opportunity to help myself and then make something of it. And so I joined the military. And mind you, I joined the military the year, well, roughly, this was right around 9/11.
Wow.
So, yeah. So originally I was signing up for college, then 9/11 happened, and then that kind of just changed a lot of my trajectory. I was like, and the biggest thing, and I still remember this, is like when I was going to school, high school, I remember showing up late that day. I'm being real. I'm showing up late.
So you in New York,
yes,
Manhattan,
yes,
on 9/11.
On 9/11, showing up late to class, and I went to the bagel shop right on the corner of school, and I remember seeing like the planes hit one of the towers, and I'm not really like.
How old were you at this time?
I probably was 17. So 17, yeah.
So you're like a teenager getting ready to go to school. So you're like a senior, junior?
Yeah, I was a senior. I was a senior.
Senior in high school.
Yeah.
Getting a bagel.
Yeah,
you look up and see.
I look up, see it on the news, and I didn't really pay too much attention to it. I was like, oh, thinking it's a third world country.
You even know this was like down the block.
Did not know it was down the block because it was just saw it. Is like I was like, I'm just thinking, who's going to do that to the U.S. right? Nobody. So I'm just like, oh, some third world country.
Did you have an afro back then too? I'm trying to visualize.
I might have had my hair braided at that time. You can't imagine that now because I got that slick, but no. But yeah. So I saw that, and then I looked up again, and I saw that it said New York City, and I was like, whoa.
What's happening?
Manhattan, yeah, Manhattan, and this is like 60 blocks away from my school. I walked out of the bagel shop. I can see the smoke from where I was, like in the background. And so like I didn't know what to do. So I was like, I guess I gotta go to school. So I went into school, and my school, as soon as I got into school, they shut down. Everything shut down.
Wow.
And so throughout that, it wasn't that specific of a day, but like it was just like.
But how did you get home?
They eventually.
Kind of the subway was subway.
Yeah, I live close to my school, so I live like walking distance. But for the people that lived in other boroughs, like
oh man,
it was a bad day for them. They couldn't really get to their town. Like they had to call their family, and then the fact that a lot of phone calls wasn't going through and stuff like that at the time. But I remember walking away from that and going into going to my house, and then talking to my friends. Like the whole atmosphere is kind of like different. Just the whole environment was just felt something just didn't set well with me. And then I remember me wanting to do something so bad, like I want to go down there and help out, do something, but I didn't because I didn't know what to do, nor did I knew what to do. And so that point kind of put, I guess, that battery in my back. It was like I got to do something, and so joining the military became that thing. Because I wanted to do something, and to this day, I still like. If I could go back, I would probably go do it, even though knowing there's like a dire situation. But that just had an effect on me, that kind of led me into the military.
9/11.
Yes.
And I would say that too. A war unites the country.
Yeah.
Always has. Every war, anything that ever happened to America, from the sinking of the Lusitania, I think was back in World War I. You always saw every time wars happened, it always united the country.
Yeah.
So, and it gave you that sense of patriotism of like, hey, I want to get out here and I want to join.
Yeah.
So now you're into the military, and still, what's that advice? Going back, looking back on it, I know you was hard at that time. You was patriot. What would be you would tell that guy?
If I had to go back and looking at it from a different angle, I would tell myself to seek more mentorship. be open to, because when you're young, like I said, I was hard headed, so I probably wasn't listening to.
I didn't want to talk to no old chief.
Yeah.
Go hang out with this old chief.
But the guidance, the knowledge, and the awareness is what's helped me and got me to the point that I'm at now. And only if I would have seeked that when I was early in, I was like, yeah, I got it. Yeah, whatever it is, I'm here to support the country. I'm here to do what I need to do, and also take advantage of the benefits that I can utilize so I can help upskill myself. But I would just say, be more impressionable, understand the leadership around me, seek advice, seek guidance, seek wisdom, because these folks have been doing this for a minute. And I don't think at the very early ages of my career I did that. It was just more so like, yeah, I got it. And then a moment came to me is when I took the advancement exam for being an E4, and I actually failed the test.
Wow.
Right. That's when I was like, I'm not doing something right. And they pulled me aside and was like, hey, petty officer Salters, you failed the test. And I was like, yeah, I'll get it the next time. He's like, no, I don't think you understand. Like,
you failed the test.
No one has ever failed the test. But you failed the test. It was like, you have to know the wrong answers to fail the test. I mean, you have to know the right answers to fail the test. So like, ooh, so maybe I'm not being as perceptive as I need to be. Maybe I'm not really. And so that changed my dynamic. I started focusing more on my knowledge set, working harder, spending more hours trying to learn, my craft, and then also seeking that guidance. And I'm thankful that my first tour was at NAC Hawaii, because that just changed the game, because the leadership there was phenomenal. I mean, the folks that kind of mentored me there, they were the right people at the right time. And they got through to me real fast, because they were like, it was essentially something as simple as, do you want better for yourself? And I was like, of course. Then why don't you do it? And so it's like, it's not about me proving anything. It's just more so like, you say this, but do it for yourself. And so that's kind of how it led out. And so I think, and I said, if I could go back, I would try to listen to what other people's advice was. But I think when I got to Hawaii, that all changed. That perspective all changed for me.
Okay. So one of the things I also wanted, that you hit on is, I noticed in your life story, your drive from coming from Manhattan, joining the military, excelling into the military, not only being in, going in, and then creating your own nonprofit. And what our stories mirror is that we met each other like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like in on a submarine.
Yeah.
In Groton.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to come back, and when I'm watching your story, I didn't even connect that you was the same person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought like, oh, this is a whole nother person here, and didn't know that you had grown into this
new person.
And we would sit down talking. I was like, what? Hold on. Oh, I do remember you the same stuff.
Yeah.
So taking me back, watching us both in our careers grow has been pretty crazy. And and we've been waiting on this for a while. We've been trying this for a while to get this done, and to see you here in Denver. And it was important for me to do it in person.
Yeah.
So the thing that I looked at your life and I saw that drive. That's the definition I saw behind you. You had the drive, and the similarities we have is, you didn't choose this path. The path chose you into ActNow.
Yes.
So people look at me now, they be like, man, dude, you're a mastermind. How did you create a foundation, a firm, podcast, book series, all around each other, get sponsors, collaborate with celebrities, and da-da-da. Who was your PR? Who was it was really nobody.
Yeah.
There was different people helping me along my way. Don't get me wrong. I've had definitely had different agents, different people, stuff like that. They helped along my way, but I didn't wake up one day and had this master plan.
No, it didn't.
You just doing yourself and just being yourself, and you just connecting the dots, and things just start to happen. And I think that's why paths are like, wow, I was chosen for this. And something you hit on. My dad told me this. I said, Dad, how do you know if you're doing the right thing in life? How you know you're following the right path, or you just off on your own? He said, well, when whatever you're doing, if it starts to grow, then you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, what you're called here to do, what you're called here to be, when you can't explain the growth, right? So, and I thought about it, he said, because if it's not what you're supposed to do, it's not going to grow. right? So what you're supposed to be doing, it may not be growing as fast
Mm.
or as wild or as green as you want it, but it'll be steadily growing, and that's how you know that's what your path is. Because my greatest fear in life is to leave this, take my last breath, and not to live to my potential and what I was here to do. You know, not everybody's supposed to go off
Yeah.
and do. You know, not everybody's supposed to go to the Hall of Fame,
Definitely.
but some people will go pro.
Yes.
Everybody that's pro is not going to be the starting five, but hey, it ain't too bad. I sit on the NBA bench,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
But some people are just going to be good in college, you know. So it's levels to what we're all supposed to be, and I think that's how the world kind of works. Looking at it now, what would you say are your struggles, business? Because everybody loves to talk about the success.
Yeah,
So look at me.
yeah.
I started this. What are your struggles?
So the struggles is, I mean, honestly, I feel like I have to go twice as hard, you know, on what it is that I want to do. And the biggest thing for me is, in life, you there's no in between. It's either you are fully committed to something, or you know you shouldn't be doing it. At least the way that I feel about things, because these things take your time away from your family, and take your time away from being around your loved ones. And if that is the most important thing for you, even though there's no equivalent to that, you have to make it work, right? So it's like, why do these other things if it's taking time events that I'm never going to get back, right? You can make money back any day, right? You can't make that time back. As your kids grow, as your family starts to grow, your kids grow of age and they go to high school, college, there's no redoing that. And so for me, I think, going back to your question, focusing on that aspect, my struggle has always been trying to make things happen without all of the parts to put together. It's this stuff I don't know what I don't know, right? How do you build a community? I don't know, right? You got to start, learn something, right? And so you have to, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm doing this, I'm fully committed. And so I think that's the key difference with me and a lot of folks is you're going to see that tenacity, that drive, that focus, because I want to make this happen, because I know what am I, sacrificing? What am my family sacrificing? Some aspects of that is I see other organizations that's able to grow, expand, flourish. They got the right point of contacts. They got the right connections. I'm not doing it with all that, right? I'm doing it from the ground up and building out. And so it's just more so being able to understand those aspects of businesses, scaling, right? How do you go from, working with just you to now you got like 15 people that you got to manage, right? Work and take care of.
And I think too, one thing that helped us both out was military.
Absolutely.
Was the military, obviously, we both have leadership qualities where you've obviously led people. You've been there, LPO, probably their works in the soup, their chief, their, just their department head, all that stuff, right? So you learn that, and I think when you come through that, learn, it helps you because you already, not only were you a follower, you was a leader as well, right? So I think that's a major key there. But learning that, so why do you feel you got to go twice as hard?
So it's just, I'm looking at the landscape, right? And it's just, there are a lot of folks out there that need that type of support. And ActNow Organization, I mean, in a sense, we shouldn't have to need this organization, right? There should be enough support to provide. There should be other organizations. There should be the U.S. military that supports that, right? The VA. But we find ourselves in high demand because people are not getting the support that they need and the information that they need. And so for me, it's like every day that I'm not on the grind trying to make something happen for the military community, there's people that are missing out on these opportunities that can affect their lives. And I'll just kind of give you an example. In one of our last cohorts, I had an individual who, he transitioned out of the military, didn't really have any job perspectives. And so he was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. He even filed for, his disability. And so there was a lot of aspects to that, right? But it's just more so like when the rubber meets the road and he has to make and provide for his family, he was trying to figure out what to do and how best to do it. It's like, do I collect unemployment? I've been reaching out to people have not been responding or, you know, hitting me back. He's like, I got no job perspectives. I got nothing going on, and I have to feed my family. And so he went through our program. We provided him with all the guidance, the information, connecting them with employers, looking at how to negotiate salaries and employment readiness. And he was able to land a job, right?
Nice.
Based off of the information we provided. And then he came to me. He was like, you know, Jay, I'm being serious about this. He's like, you know, I didn't know what I was going to do. And he's like, it had me in a real bad state because it was like, how I'm going to feed my family. And he says, what your program has done is fed my daughter.
Wow.
And so just hearing things like that, like, I got to go twice as hard. Like,
yeah.
you got to put the work in. And so, yeah.
That's good. That's good. So, your childhood,
yeah.
right? It wasn't the best of childhoods, but I think your childhood, you know what? It's like, I tell people, kids that come out of the suburbs who come from good backgrounds, it's hard to instill drive, right? And your childhood wasn't the best makeup, right? But you turned it around, and it drove you all the way through the military, through doing everything you're doing. Looking back on your childhood, do you think that was something that was key? I know it was something key that was you. How do you feel about your childhood to who you are now?
Yeah, so for those who are not aware, like I had a really rough childhood growing up in the foster home system, and then, you know, being abused, me and my sister, and then us getting out of that situation, and my sister actually aged out of the program. And so that had a lot of trauma, a lot of experience, and like trying to learn how to adapt in those situations. I believe I was only like 4 or 5 when all those things happened to me. And early on, I learned how to be resilient and adaptable, right? And so it's more so like I knew there were things that I needed to do in order to get myself out of that situation. Like if I was going to be act out, that would just hold me down.
Make it worse.
Make it worse. I had to understand the situation for what it was. And, no child should have to go through some of those things and have that type of mentality. But what it did show me going throughout my life was, the only one that's going to get me out of the situation is myself. And so based off of that, I try to understand the situation for as best of what it is, and put my best foot forward to kind of maneuver and navigate that. And that's helped me throughout my career. I know that at the end of the day, everything is rest on what I do and how I do it. And so I've never let that be like, I always lead with that, right? Yeah. So I never let, relying on people is an important thing, but I've always used that as my core of who I am, trying to figure out how to take advantage of these situations and learn how to maneuver out of those situations. So it's been something that's helped me deal with a lot of problem sets that I've seen, where people like believe me, on some of the operations I've been on, people are like, oh my God, this is happening. And, just calm collective, like, all right, we can either act that way
or we could do it,
or we can get to it and figure out how to move forward. And so, it's always been just something that I guess like I wouldn't want anybody to go through that, but because of that, I'm grateful that I have gained those skill sets to kind of move forward in life.
Cool. Well, as we wrap this up, people want to get more from you. Before I do that, is there anything out there that we miss on this episode?
Okay,
we got a couple of.
We had a couple.
Right. Of this episode that you want to leave people with.
I would say if you are in the military community and you're looking for resources and you're looking for support, please check us out, ActNow Education, nonprofit 501c3. We're here to support you. We want to be on the sidelines of your success. If you are someone that's, very interested in giving back to the community, hey, we can always take, support for that because we want to make sure that we're making a difference in people's life and then making a positive impact. But if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn. Hey, we can actually even do this. If you, we could probably give a cert or two away. We'll work that out somehow.
Okay.
That way we can offer that to the military community. So whoever's watching this on the Investor Show, right?
Oh yeah.
we can give out 2 PMP certifications, help people out with some career progression right there. So,
all right. We got you recorded. You said
you said it. Yeah, so you got me recorded. So we'll figure out how to lay that out, whether it be in the show notes. If you like and subscribe and comment, right? If you like and subscribe and comment, and then you go to my LinkedIn page, and then just follow up with me or follow up with this post. Say, hey, I watched the Investor Show. We'll take everyone's information and then do a random raffle and then give out those 2 certs.
Cool. How can people follow you? LinkedIn, you said?
Yeah, LinkedIn is really where I'm at. I'm on Facebook as well, but my Facebook is inundated with messages, so LinkedIn is probably the best. If you're looking to partner with us, www.actnoweducation.org. You can go down to the middle of the page, and it says support or partner. If you're looking to volunteer with us, we have an ambassador program as well. And so, yeah, just get connected with us. We are here. We're here to support. We just really want to make a difference, and with no strings attached, just really make a difference for our military community. And so I appreciate you for having me on the Investor Show.
Yeah.
We, like I said, we didn't get too much into investing. We talked about some opportunities, but finance is really important. Definitely connect with us if you need any support. We're here for it.
I know people look at this kind of weird, but, just show my military side. Sometimes I really don't show a whole lot, but it shows that, for my brothers and sisters that I serve with and, comrades, veterans and things like that, too. Hey, this is another aspect of me as well.
Yeah.
So people are like, Prince, what are you doing? This is, where's the finances? So,
well, we did talk about the American College of Financial Services, right?
That's true.
So, hey,
that's true.
You got to take advantage of that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, and to the next video podcast, cartoon, or whatever else crazy you see me doing around the globe, peace, be safe, I'm out, and thank you.